Right, we're going to do our Readers Fear lesson, okay? So we're going to do it on the text that we've been doing for the past 4 days, our fluency text on oceans, okay? Now, we are absolute ocean experts at this point, aren't we? Okay? But not everybody is. Not everyone knows as much about oceans as we do, okay? So I want you to imagine that you're giving a speech. We're going to use this text as a bit of a speech. Maybe it's to the children, the younger children in the school, okay? And they don't know as much about oceans, and you're giving them a speech about how important oceans are and how to protect our oceans, okay? I want you to imagine that you are someone like David Attenborough. Now, I know not everyone knows who David Attenborough is, so I'm going to show you a very short clip of David Attenborough giving a speech about our oceans, okay, to show you, to give you an inspiration for what you're going to do in a minute, okay? So watch what David Attenborough says and how he sees it.
Imagine a healthy ocean.
So that was David Attenborough talking about our oceans. Now, he's an ocean expert like us, okay? And when he was giving his speech, it was really powerful. He had a lot of pauses in there, so you had time to think about it, okay? Emphasise the important words. That's what we're going to do today, okay? Now, with our text, we've been looking at some of the key vocab in this text. So let's go through that one more time before we begin. Okay? Connected.
Connected.
That means everything joined together. Vast.
Vast.
That's something very, very big. Unexplored.
Unexplored.
That's something that's not been discovered or studied yet. Right, in the next paragraph, we've got habitats.
Habitat.
That's places where animals or plants live. Creatures.
Creature.
That's living animals. We've got lots of different sea creatures. Okay, safe.
Safe.
That's when you protect something from harm. Right, what we're going to do is I'm going to read it through first. It's going to be my turn, and you're going to follow along with your own copy with your magic finger and magnet eyes. Okay, can you show me? Lock in your magic finger and magnet eyes at the top of your copy. Fantastic. I'm going to read it first. You can join in for the bold words and pay attention. Listen to how I'm going to read it. Okay? Right, lock in your magic eyes. Okay. Our 5 oceans. What is an ocean? An ocean is a huge body of salty water. The Earth has 5 oceans: the Arctic, Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Southern. But guess what? They're all connected, making one big world ocean. Did you know there is more water than there is land? In fact, oceans cover over 70% of our planet. And because they are so deep and vast, much of them remain unexplored. Right, this time we are going to do some echo reading. So this time it's our turn. You're going to echo back the section I read. I want you to try and echo it back to me the way that I read it. So if I expressed a certain word or used more volume with that word, I want you to try and do the same. Okay, remember this is a performance today. We're not just reading it, we're performing it. So can you move your magic finger back up to the top, lock in your magnet eyes, and let's do some echo reading. What is an ocean?
What is an ocean?
An ocean is a huge body of salty water.
An ocean is a huge body of salty water.
The Earth has 5 oceans.
The Earth has 5 oceans.
Right, this part I'm going to read with pauses for the commas. The Arctic, Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Southern.
The Arctic, Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Southern.
Amazing. But guess what?
But guess what?
They're all connected,
They're all connected,
making one big world ocean.
making one big world ocean.
Right, next I'm going to allocate each group a different part of the text, okay? So, what is an ocean? The red paragraph I'm going to give to the robins, okay? So you're doing the red paragraph, what is an ocean, okay? The next paragraph, why are oceans important, I'm going to give to the penguins, okay? So you three. The next paragraph, how do oceans help us, I'm going to give to the grasshoppers. So that's us four, including you, Ethan. And the last paragraph, why should we protect our oceans, I'm going to give to the monkeys. So you've got that paragraph. So what we're going to do, now I don't want you to think about text marking yet, I don't want you to decide who's reading what, that's going to come next. First, what you're going to do in your groups with just the paragraph you've been given is you're going to do some repeated choral reading of that paragraph together. So just like when we do choral reading in class and we read it all together, you're going to do that with your group. Okay, so you're going to read that part, that paragraph together, make sure you know how to read it, you know what all the words are, and just reading it together at first. Okay, maybe a minute or so to do that. Off you go. Repeated choral reading. So what colour is your paragraph? Blue. So you might want to count in. So put your finger on that paragraph. Jude, put your finger on that paragraph. 3, 2, 1. Are oceans important? You've got to read it together. Yes, so you might want to count in from 3. Do you want to start again? Put your finger at the start and I'll count in from 3. 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Right, have a choral read it? Yeah? Why don't you do it one more time while you're waiting? Okay. I'll count you in if you put your fingers there. 3, 2, 1. Off you go. Fantastic. Eyes back to the front. So we've read through our paragraphs together with our groups. Okay, so we know that's the bit of the text that we're focusing on. That's our part of the speech. Okay, so the next step that we're going to do is we're going to do some text marking. Okay, so I'm going to have a go first. Okay, so text marking is the little reminders that we put on our paragraph to help us tell us how we want to read it and how we want to perform it. Okay, so we might pause. Remember, David Attenborough did a lot of pauses in his speech. We might want to increase the volume, that's important. Some words we really want to get across and we really want to emphasize. So we might increase the volume. We might use an emoji to convey an emotion, okay, to express. So I'm going to imagine that I'm doing the last paragraph. Why should we protect our oceans? Okay, the first word is wow. Am I just going to say wow? Or do I want to express it? Wow. Okay, I'm almost shocked. Okay, I'm almost taken aback by it. So I might draw a little emoji to show that I'm shocked with my eyes open. I might have my hands on my face. Wow. Okay. What a lot of things our oceans do. It's an exclamation. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I say it that way. Oceans are constantly, now that's one of our vocab words, that's a bold word. So I might want to increase my volume on that. I might want to say oceans are constantly, to get my point across, okay? Working to support people, animals, and the planet. That's why they are so important. I might want to emphasize so or important. We must take care of them. It's like a command, isn't it? We must. Okay, you want to be passionate about it. We must take care of them. Okay? So I've added some emojis. I've added some words I'd like to express. Okay? With your partners, with your groups, you're going to decide what you think your text marking should be. Think about some emotions you might want to convey. It might be shock. You might be passionate about it. Okay, you might be angry that the oceans are getting destroyed. Okay, think about the words that you want to emphasize, but you have to decide together as a group and everyone put the same text marking on for their paragraph. Okay, don't need to decide who's reading what yet. We're just going to decide how we're going to read it. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for your text marking. Off you go. What words are we going to emphasize? Important. Yeah, you need to say it like you're asking a question, don't you? Why are oceans important? You might even emphasize the why. So in the question, in the title. Why are oceans important? You could do an up arrow, yeah. Right, what else do you think is important in there? What about oceans do much more than just hold water? You want to emphasise that they do much more, don't you? So you might want to put an arrow on that. Okay. So why don't you put an arrow up on much more? Right, what have we got over here? Oh, we've got lots. Huge, definitely want to emphasise that, don't we?
It says for a longer pause, so where the commas are, we'll
Put pauses, absolutely.
and then we'll put big and
Not yet, I'll tell you when to practice.
each have one sentence.
Unexplored, are you shocked? Because they're unexplored. That's a really good idea. Have you guys got that on?
Each sentence.
Have you guys got that? Yusuf's got unexplored and he's got a shocked emoji because he's shocked that a lot of the ocean is unexplored. Watch them replaying unexplored. You're actually really shocked about that. Amazing. So we've done our text marking. This is a time when we're going to practice. Okay? With our group, you're going to use the text marking that you've done to give you reminders about how to read it. So for example, on mine, I've put a shocked face, I've put some up arrows to increase my volume, so when I read that paragraph, I'm going to look at my text marking, it tells me how I'm going to read it. Wow, what a lot of things our oceans do. Oceans are constantly working to support people, animals, and the planet. Since they are so important, we must take care of them. So I keep looking back at my text marking, it's telling me how I'm going to read that. Okay, so with your group, you're going to decide how you're going to read it. Now you might all choral read it together, or maybe you read a sentence each, but maybe there's certain words you want to say together to emphasise those words even more. This is the time to decide, and this is the time to practice, so it's perfect when we come to perform it, and we all know what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to start the timer. We've got 10 minutes to practice. Right, do you know who's reading what then?
They have some very important job.
Amazing, Jackson. Amazing. It goes back to you, Jackson.
That goes to you, Jackson.
Do you know what you're reading, Jackson? Why don't you highlight the parts that you're reading? So why don't you even underline the parts that you're reading? Yeah. So you read this one. Let's underline what you read. So you read, they have some very important jobs. And then what else does Jackson read? A habitat is a place where something lives. Right, well I think you've just put that wrong. Let's just ignore that. Right, shall we try that again now that everyone knows what they're reading? Yeah, perfect. Do you want to try that again? Right, so who's reading what? Jessica's reading the first sentence, yes? So then Jacob reads, it produces more than half of the oxygen in the world thanks to tiny plants like plankton and seaweed. Who says the next sentence? So Ella is saying oceans also help control the weather. Yeah? So I'm going to underline the sentence you're saying, Ella. And then Ethan says the next bit. They soak up the heat from the sun and move it all around the world through ocean currents.
And then Jessica says it again, and then Jacob, and then...
So you're reading this bit, Ethan.
Just like your.
They soak up the heat from the sun and move it around the world through ocean currents. Right, does he say the giant conveyor belts as well?
No.
Or does that go back to someone else?
That go back to Jessica.
Right, so shall we practice this then? Does everyone know what they're going to read? Which part? Shall I have a little practice then? Because that's what this time is for.
Did you know the ocean helps us breathe?
Amazing.
Moving half of the oxygen in the world thanks to tiny tiny plants.
Amazing, Jacob.
Plankton and seaweeds.
But guess what? They are all connected, making one big world ocean. Did you know there is more water than there is land? In fact, oceans cover over 70% of our planet. And because they are so deep and vast, much of them is unexplored.
That was fantastic. I love how you said the title all together and then you said like the words like huge all together. That was really good. Yeah, so that's why we need to practice again. Do you know what helps is if you underline the parts that you're reading. Right, shall we have a little practice then again? Okay, so we've got less than half our time left. So let's have a little practice so everyone knows what they're doing.
Did you know the ocean helps us breathe?
It produces oxygen in the world. And tiny plants, plankton and seaweeds.
Amazing. Oh, come on, you need to express that. Come on, let me hear your expression. Oceans also help control the weather. Good, remember it's an exclamation. Right. Okay, back in our seats. So we've had a really, really good practice. Okay, we've had time to perfect any mistakes that we might have made. Okay, and we've had really good practice. So now it is time to perform. Okay, so our stage is going to be at the front. We're going to do our Readers Theatre performance, and the rest of us, when it's not your turn, you're going to be the audience. Okay, now an amazing audience has got everything down, and is not fiddling with anything, has got their eyes to the front, so you're focused on the people performing, you're showing them lots of respect. Okay, Chloe, in your seat. And think about how they read it. Think about at the end, we might give them some feedback on their performance as well. So as they're doing their performance, just think about what you really liked about it, or if there's anything they might be able to improve. Okay, so everything down. Right, what is an ocean? Who had that? First group. Right, come on up. Okay, everyone else, your eyes at the front, you're watching them. And when you're ready, Chloe, do you want to stand here? So just make sure we get you in. When you're ready, you can start.
3, 2, 1. What is an ocean? An ocean is a huge body of salty water. The Earth has 5 oceans: the Arctic, Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Southern. But guess what? They are all connected, making one big world ocean. Did you know there is more water than there is land? In fact, oceans cover over 70% of our planet, and because they are so deep and vast, much of them is unexplored.
Wow, fantastic. Give them a big round of applause. Amazing. I love how you said certain words together. That was fantastic. Go and sit down. What a way to start us off. Right, why are oceans important? Our next group. We've been an amazing audience so far. Let's keep watching our performers. Okay, when you're ready.
Why are oceans important? Well, oceans do much more than just hold water.
They have some very important jobs. They provide habitat for many creatures, from tiny fish and colourful coral to giant whales and speedy sharks. A habitat is a place where something lives, just like your home.
That's why it's so important to look after our oceans so all these creatures can stay safe.
Fantastic, well done. Give them a big clap. You knew your parts perfectly, really well practiced, well done. Right, how do oceans help us? Our next group. Okay, being an amazing audience, keep it up. Right, when you're ready.
3, Do you know the ocean helps us breathe?
It produces more than half of the oxygen in the world, thanks to tiny plankton and seaweed.
Ocean also help control the weather.
They soak up the heat from the sun and move it around the world through ocean currents.
Like giant conveyor belts of warm and cold water.
This helps to create wind, rain, and even storms.
Brilliant. Well done. A big round of applause. That was fantastic. You were really well practiced as well, and I loved your expression. Go and sit down. Right, very last group, last but not least. Do you want to get up? Why should we protect our oceans? Okay, and let's keep being an amazing audience for them because they've sat through all of yours. Right, when you're ready.
1, 2, 3. Why should we protect our oceans? Wow, what a lot of things our oceans do. Oceans are constantly working to support people, animals, and the planet. Since they are so important, we must take care of them by keeping them clean, protecting the creatures that call them home. A healthy ocean means a healthy planet.
Fantastic. I love how you chose to choral read that. Well done. And you kept in time with each other. Amazing. Right, go and sit down. I have to say, I loved each one of your performances. I could tell how much you practice and how much text marking you put into that. And I think if you did that in front of younger children, like our goal was, you would really inspire them to care about the ocean. Right, last step. It's important to give feedback just like we always do in Fluency when we give feedback to our partner. Think about all the performances you've seen. What did you like about it? Maybe it was their use of expression. Okay, they might have read with just right expression. Or maybe you just like the way that they read it, you like something in particular that they did. Have a little discussion on your table with your groups now, just 1 minute. What did you really like about someone else's performance? Okay, talk to your people on your table. Right, Jackson, whose performance did you really like? Yeah, what did you like about it? They did, and they read some words together as well, didn't they? Which really emphasised it a lot. Okay. Right. Who's ready to share some feedback or give another group some feedback on their performance? Jessica, what do you want to say?
I think the monkeys did really good. I looked so serious about it, and they did loads of expression.
Yeah, you were very passionate. I could tell, which is exactly what I asked you to be passionate about it. And I could tell you were really passionate about keeping our oceans and protecting them and keeping them safe. Amazing. Ella, what did you think?
I love the way the robins like using the expression there. Read it coral at the first fire, then
Yeah. I loved that as well. So Ella said she loved how the robins choral read their title and how they choral read a couple of the words to express them. I loved that as well. Ethan?
I love the penguin because
What did you like about their performance? What was your favourite part of it? What did they do really well?
I like when you did creatures can stay safe.
Yeah, okay. They were trying to show how passionate they felt about the creatures staying safe. Absolutely. Jacob?
I think the robins, because they're all trying to do the hardest.
Right, okay. They were trying their very hardest, okay. I have to say everyone worked really, really hard. Everyone read with a lot of expression. Everyone's automatic word recognition was amazing because we practiced so much and we did that repeated choral reading. We all read with rhythm, phrase by phrase, and really nice and smooth as well. That was absolutely fantastic. Give yourself another little pat on the back for doing amazing. Okay, well done, everybody.